Welcome back to Buy or Invest. Today I'm really excited to talk about the Quintessential Quintuplets, by far one of my top 10 anime and one of those sets that I was hoping would come to English no matter what. Because I wouldn't, even though I wanted it really bad, I didn't want to buy the Japanese version because I had this feeling that one day it would come. And if you've seen my video celebrating their birthday, it was on May 5th. I talk about a lot of the reasons why it should come to English, and that goes into my whole thought about buying or investing. So if you did see that video, you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff come out of my mouth on this video as well. And Quintessential Quintuplets is one of those sets where I don't necessarily think it's super strong, but at the same time, because of the anime following, because of the characters in it, because of the voice actresses that are playing these roles, I believe is a good set to have for the long term. I'm just going to say that up front. And as I do this, I'm going to try to step away from my own bias of because I like it so much to just say that it's something worth investing in. So that's my whole goal here today. Normally when I do these videos, I take a look at a couple of things. What I do is, again, look at the anime following. I look at the actual SPs, the price histories on them, and the strength of the cards itself. As you can see here, popularity-wise, it's pretty good. Number 211. And normally what I see is it needs to break over this 500,000 member mark, and that definitely clears that, 649. There is going to be a Japanese version of Season 2, and because of the popularity of Season 1 that's coming out for English, I have no doubt in my mind that we will be seeing a Season 2 eventually for the English format. So that's going to be awesome. And let's just take a look. So there is two products coming out for English, and that is your normal booster box. The thing about this booster box is there's a lot of freaking cards. Again, when I talked about Danmachi, like you saw that there was 100 types of cards, like literally 100. This one has 135 and 55 parallels. There's a crap load of cards, and you're gonna need a case if you want a play set. More than likely, you're going to need a whole case of 16 booster boxes to get it all. Everything that you need. With the trial decks, they were sold as 5 separate trial decks, 1 per girl. They jammed them together this time around, and it's going to be fairly expensive. I believe people are selling them upwards of 160, 170, 180, even 200. So these are fairly expensive. With that said, though, am I buying this or am I going to invest in it? And when I think about the actual anime, it's popular. There is a season 2. It's coming out for Japanese Weiss Schwarz, like I said, but there also is a movie coming out as well. So overall, the fan base is there. Yeah, and that's what Weiss likes to do. They would like to take a huge fan base and try to convert some of those people into either players or just buying the cards because they want to collect it because they love the characters. And there is a strong set of actual characters. If you like this kind of anime, I know everybody likes different kind of anime, but if this is your type of anime, you're just gonna love the show and love the characters. You may not like them all, but you're gonna be able to pick 1 or 2 of the girls at the very least and have an attachment to them. There is also another side of this, and that is the voice actresses. The voice actresses in this one is pretty huge, and because these booster boxes actually, like this set in general, has signed cards. They have not removed those signed cards. Because of those signed cards, we had the voice actresses attached to them. And I want to just go over right now all the different voice actresses that you'll see and what they've actually voiced in. First up, we got Miku, who plays Miku in Quintessential Quintuplets. She also plays Kukuru in Aquatopa the White Sand and Kokoro in Bang Dream. And these are the ones that are more notable to me. I know, again, everybody watches different anime. These are the characters that I love the most. We have Ayana here, and she plays Nino, who also plays Katori. She kind of plays the almost the same type of characters, except for Azusa here from Keion. And we got Karino from Orino Imoto. We also got Inori here. She plays Itsuki, and she plays Hestia, which is coming up for the Japanese Weiss Schwarz, which no doubt again that I think it's coming out for English. She also plays Chino from Is Your Order a Rabbit, and the big one, she plays Rem. We also got Ayane here, and there is a lot of characters that I love that she did. We have Yotsuba, we have Nao from Charlotte, we have Hina from That Day I Became a God, we got Ran here from Bang Dream, and we also got Iroha, one of the best girls from My Teen Romantic Comedy. Did I say that right? Yeah, My Teen Romantic Comedy. And we have, last but not least, we have Kana, who plays Ichika. And she also plays Nadeko from Bakemonogatari. She also plays Kanade from Angel Beats. And we also got Ruri from Orino Emoto. Now that we've talked about the actual voice actresses, let's take a look at the SSPs, the SPs, the sign cards that are associated with these characters. And as you can see here on the Japanese versions, what we have is a pretty hefty price. When you take a look at the Miku here, 448. Again, I'm not using any sort of currency conversion. I'm just going to do a one for one. That 448 is a little too high for me. There's four of these things here. Again, I know Miku's a pretty strong character. That card is a pretty strong card. So in the end, I get why it's priced that high. When you take a look at Nino, all sold out, so more than likely should be higher than the 248 if one actually does come back in for stock. And you can see the other ones, Ichika 298, but there's 5 there, so probably lower. Just bring that back down a little bit. We have SPs. Again, with the SPs, there are these versions here that have the name on it. They were easier to get, but at the same time, they don't have the signatures on there. Again, with the signatures, I would imagine they would be worth more. The art on it is pretty nice. I would definitely like to have some of them. So it's going to be, I don't know what the pricing is going to look like when it comes to this, because the supply, again, the supply is going to be decent. I think there's going to be a lot of people opening it. So it should I don't think it'd be $50, but I could definitely see it in the 80s, 90s, 100, right? Even though they don't have the signed cards, people are going to want these cards, but nothing too drastic. It's going to look like what Kaguya looked like, I would imagine. And then we have our trial deck signs over here. We know you're going to get one per trial deck, so people need to be careful about this, because that's what's exactly going to happen, right? People are going to buy the trial decks, pull these sign cards, and when they do that, they're going to sell them off. So I don't know what that's going to mean, because what you effectively have is you're buying a trial deck for a sign card. People are going to try to offload the cards inside of that trial deck. They could probably attempt to sell the SPs. They can, but more than likely they're going to just try to attempt to sell the trial deck cards, right? People keep thinking it's free money. I keep seeing that over and over again, that it's like, oh, you just buy this thing and sell the trial deck. But what's the likelihood that people are going to need that many trial deck cards, right? If you're just looking to play this. So be very cautious about this. I love these cards. They do hold value, but at the same time, just be very wary that there's other people out there that are going to try the same thing. So even though it reflects a higher cost here, I don't think it's going to be as high as this, just because of the amount of supply. We also do have these other rarities down here, and as you can see, these are not from the actual anime, they're manga art, and if you take a look at them, they're pretty awesome. You see them in the end scene of the actual anime, and they hold a fairly high amount of value as well. The other thing to point out that is special with this is we do have a double rare card, and these double rare cards are actually useful. So one of those ones that play into the whole value of the set is there are actually playable cards that are pretty expensive, and this is one of those ones that you're going to have to deal with because this Miku card here is pretty good. I think if you're going to make a Miku deck, you're definitely going to include her in here on that. Miku got some pretty good cards. You have it in the trial deck, Yotsuba as well, and Ichika as well. So overall, there are going to be some cards that, because of these double rare, the actual booster box outside of the sign cards, shiny cards, are gonna have some value. And you could see like what happened with the double rares because of this double rare plus variety, you're gonna have the double rares be depressed versus what they normally are, right? They're gonna be a little bit lower. And because this is one of those widely open sets, these rares and everything else were pretty low price wise. When I think about this set and why I really want it, it reminds me of what I thought initially about Weiss. Weiss was a game that took my favorite scenes from an anime and basically shoved that in onto a card. And what I see here is, again, some of my favorite characters, signed or unsigned, doesn't matter. And it makes me relive what I actually saw anime wise. So you do have some nice signed cards here again. But you also have these fun moments, right? This is when we first meet Yotsuba and her 0 on her grade, and then we have Miku pouting, which happens a lot. The hard part about Miku, like, I don't know about you, but when you look at her cards, I'm like, what scene did this come from? Because it's a whole lot of the same kind of face, maybe just a little different background, but it's hard to pinpoint every one of those different scenes. But I still love her. I love Miku. And we got the 5 girls here, all doing their peace signs. And actually, I wish that was not cut off that way, right? I wish it was the whole picture. There may be a climax card with that on there. What we have here is Itsuki, and Itsuki here is trying to learn. And this is a very important scene, and I would say her relationship with Futaro, so I'm not going to talk about that if you haven't seen it. And we got Ichika here. One of my favorite moments, I think it was, I know one of the biggest complaints about this anime was the actual animation part, but I love the scene. It was great. The colors are nice, and it just made you feel that moment on here. So I love that they captured that on a card. And I thought this is hilarious. It actually took me 2 tries to see this, to see what was actually happening. I didn't even understand the game. It was really weird to me. But after I watched it and understood it, I'm like, that's hilarious. If they would have taken the scene from 20 seconds after this, roughly 20 seconds, I don't know if they're allowed to have a picture like that, but I would have enjoyed it. Maybe they should have made that into like a SP. And we have Nino saving the day, and this one of Nino. I thought that was good. It's one of the first times you really meet her, and sums up what kind of character she is. So it was pretty cool. And I don't know why, I do like pictures where they have hair ties. One of those things that you'll notice with Weiss is there are a bunch of cards that have these hair ties, and I like to collect them. So again, I have some more cards to pick up. To me, if you are buying this set, you should know what you're getting into. I do not believe this is the strongest set that's coming out there. It is not. I can tell you, I would probably bring 8 other different ones to play in a tournament before I bring Quints. As if I was actually trying to compete. Anybody can win with a deck. You can have your day, and the other guy could have a really bad day. So you can beat a deck with any deck. I believe that truly, because there's an air of skill and I would say just dumb luck. But I don't believe Quince is one of those ones that is strong enough in the current form that it is with just this volume 1 set that I would, like, let's say, play against Sword Art Online, Kaguya, Data Live, Slime. I wouldn't want to bring this to a tournament. Again, you can win with it, but it wouldn't be where I'm going. This is more for, I guess, waifu battle, and you can see right here when I click here tournament, you can see how many come up. If I take a look at Slime here, though, we have a few more decks and you can see there's a bunch of first places attached to it, where we have Quints, not so much. We have, though, if you hit this button, you'll see the amount of waifu decks that are actually out there. So I think this is one of those ones for me that if I actually just want to have a bunch of fun, then I'm gonna do it with the girl that I want to do it. Then that's what I'm going to do. So for me, this isn't one of those ones where I would strongly suggest bringing it to a tournament. I would, though, strongly suggest playing it just for fun against other people that have Quince decks, like a tournament, just see which one's better. Because there's always those arguments about which one's better. To wrap it all up, I'm giving the anime 5 stars. We know there is a huge following. There is a season 2, and there is a movie that is coming out. We do have people that love these characters that argue which one is better, which isn't. It's Miku, by the way. And we also have amazing voice actresses attached to these. So what we have all together is something that people will just want to collect. That's the main purpose of this set. It's a collection set. When you take a look at the meta strength, I'm giving it a 3.5 just because of what I see as other sets that are great out there. When it comes to these cards, I believe it's definitely a long-term hold for me. I, for one, am one of those people that are buying a bunch of this. And reason being is I know it's the whole investing part of it, but at the same time, it's because I want it. I love this anime. It's just one of those ones that I'm attached to. So no matter what, whether it's for me personally or investment wise, it's more just personal actually. I'm just going to have a lot of it. And I've heard other people say that too. So as I've said before, when you hear a lot of people say, I'm buying a ton of this stuff, that should make you flash back to what happened to Seven Deadly Sins if it doesn't. If you didn't see my video for Seven Deadly Sins after the aftermath of it coming out, then you should check that out. I'll put it up top. What happened there was a huge amount of supply of cards because people were ripping this sucker open to get the signs out of them. You know, people know this is a popular anime and it's going to bring some people in, so people overbought. And because of that overbuying, you have prices super depressed, which means if you are definitely in this for the short term, you need to undercut as soon as possible. You need to undercut everybody. And I don't say this as a I'm trying to drop the market or anything like that. It's just the truth. If you take a look at what happened with the past couple sets, I've shown it in my market updates, right? This is what's going to happen. And if you pull that really nice card, you need to sell that really nice card if the supply is huge. Again, I can't tell you because I don't have any distributor or anything that I could just be like, hey, or people buying a ton of these things. I don't even know if they tell people that. But I mean, it's just truth. You could just look back at the old numbers and the prices and all that. Look at my market videos. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So for me, again, long-term hold, set 2's coming out. It should be pretty awesome. It'll definitely offer support to these cards. When it comes to buying play sets, I will talk that on a future video. We don't know for sure. Obviously, double rare pluses are going to be your huge issue with this set. The double rare pluses are going to be very, very hard to get. I think it's going to take, again, I think it's going to take a whole case to actually get them. And because of that, the playsets are going to be priced higher than normal. That's what I'd say. Singles will definitely be available. Again, when people try to rip these sign cards out of the trial decks, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be taking the cards, selling them, and then they're gonna sell the sign cards or keep them for themselves, and then sell all the other cards to everybody else. So the prices on them should be pretty low. The SPs, again, on this one is going to be very huge. People are going to collect it. I myself am going to collect it. I will 100% collect these cards, and I know there's going to be a good price that they're going to come in at. They're going to be dropping just because there's going to be a lot of people that have the idea of selling it. So with that said, I hope this helps. Good luck. There's going to be a video coming out about my a game plan, right? If you have a certain amount of budget, what should you really be buying when it comes to quints? My opinion, anyways. So look out for that. And then there is that one special video that is taking me many, many hours to create involving the quints. And that's because it, again, shows it's something that I imagined in my mind what the quintessential quintuplets and Weiss Schwarz actually is. So stick around.